We start this 4-night tour and end it in Jersey Shore. The first night we go to Tiadaghton campground on the Pine Creek Rail Trail, then to Lyman Run, then to Sinnemahoning, then to Hyner Run, and back to Jersey Shore. About 181 miles with 5,000 feet of elevation. On the car ride to Jersey Shore, the clouds were low, the day was beautiful. Our first order of business in Jersey Shore was to get breakfast, and this was mine. Eggs, hash browns, and gravy. And this is Bill, just gravy and biscuits. We are ready to hit the trail. We parked the bikes in the parking lot at the bottom of the Pine Creek Rail Trail in Jersey Shore, and this is Bill's bike leaning up against his car. This is our first day's trip, 45.42 miles from Jersey Shore up to the Tiadaghton campground. All of this is on the Pine Creek Rail Trail, and here we are just starting away from Jersey Shore on the trail.
This is something you rarely see on this trail.
Right after the storm, there must have been five or six trees down. But they already started to clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not the last one of these downed trees. There must have been a storm go through here a couple of days ago.
Morning.
Second down tree. This guy's a little bigger, a little harder to get across.
Did you get yours? You want me to help?
I think I got it, Bill.
You sure?
Well, we'll see. If I start crying, I'll... I'm fine. We could just set up here. We could go over to the motel for dinner every evening.
Here we are crossing the bridge just below Waterville. I'm joking with Bill that we could camp right there, save ourselves a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
The only thing about the Pine Creek I don't like are those darn gates. And here's our third down tree.
It's kind of nasty, Bill. Oh yeah, I don't have any problems here.
They got one foot on one side.
Right here at mile marker 44.
I got that.
On our left is the campground, Petticoat Junction. We stayed there once and didn't find it all that pleasant. we're crossing a little bridge just beyond Hoffman's campground. It's kind of rough. Time to comment on that.
Sure, yeah. Sitting right there in a notch. Well, that trestle got a little bit rougher over the year.
And here we're coming into Tiadaghton campground. They're building 2 new restrooms right there, and Bill's going up to check out a spring to see if there's any water. We may not have water at this campground, but we've packed in a lot. Tiadaghton is one of our favorite campsites. It's just beautiful. This year I actually got reservations for campsite number 4, so I'm looking for where the number 4 is. I'm not sure. People have told me that on a bicycle you don't need a permit for one night, but I've never seen that rule on the internet, and so this time I decided to get a permit. They used to be free. This time $10 for the campsite and $6.75 service fee. Almost unreasonable.
This is six.
I don't mind paying the $10 because they keep this trail immaculately clean, but $6.75 service fee for
yeah, the
$10?
one we're registered for is that one, I think.
Kind of silly.
Maybe the next. What?
Bill didn't find water at the spring.
There's one double one up here. Let's go look at this one. I think this must probably 5.
There's some people sitting at campsite number 5 and their boys fishing in the creek. The restrooms right off there to the old restrooms right off there to the right. And there are some other campers. You can see their tent straight ahead. But we're gonna find number 4. And lucky for us, it actually even has 2 picnic tables. One for me and one for Bill. In that far site, eventually we see 3 women that are camped there from around the Washington, D.C., New York area.
4.
Campsite number 4. And I had the permit, although no one has ever checked. Here's a simple 360 around the campsite once we set up. There's another camper that came in way down there. There's the restroom. Our clothesline hanging up close to dry. Bill's tent. The 2 picnic tables. And now I'll just walk forward here. Shooting this with a little GoPro 10 held in my hand. In fact, all this video is either from an iPhone or a GoPro 10. And that's my tent. It's been a good little tent for $150. And there's Bill's tent. He has a big Agnes, much nicer tent. And those of you that have ridden with us, Bill's going to make barbecue, and he's debating which peanut butter jar he put the barbecue in. On day 2, we just go from Sinnemahoning up to Lyman Run State Park. It's only about 27.92 miles and a little over 1,000 feet of elevation gain.
We rerouted it even. Yeah.
Right here is the stairway. Well, off to our right would be the stairway that'll take you to the top, up to the Leonard Harrison State Park, which is currently undergoing reservations. I think that's why you don't see very many people around here. You really can't go into that park right now. And about a quarter of a mile, there were those restrooms. And now we are at Darling Run. One of the things that's interesting about Darling Run up here on the Pine Creek Rail Trail, you can drive to it.
Yeah, see, those are, looks.
And right there, I'm noticing again.
Yeah, there they are, right there, charge stations.
The electric car charge stations. And right ahead of us, going over the Pine Creek Rail Trail is Highway 6. We'll go under that highway, maybe for about a quarter of a mile, make a turn, come back down, and get on Highway 6 to head on to Lyman Run State Park. The trail goes on further than when we get off, but we're going to get off and go over to Ansonia on Highway 6.
Morning.
Turn my lights on. You turn yours on.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured we'd be on the highway in a minute. I haven't run lights yet. Just started them. It was nice not to have to run them on the trail. Far back.
Here, we're headed back down on the road to Highway 6.
I'm gonna have to get used to doing gear shifts. I'm gonna have to get used to shifting gears again.
And we're on Highway 6. The Pine Creek Trail outfitters are just right up the road here. They do a lot of kayak touring and things like that. Now we're clear up to junction 349. We go through a lot of tiny little villages and towns like this as you tour Pennsylvania. And we're in Potter County, God's country. It really is nice up here.
7 miles of nobody.
We ate lunch at this little quick fill in Gailton,
I'm guessing
Pennsylvania.
it's not going to be real fun.
And we're now leaving after eating lunch and headed for Lyman Run State Park.
Yeah, I could walk 7 miles.
I don't know about that.
The sign said that it was 7 miles to Lyman Run.
My hands sure are cramping though. Yeah. That's usually the thing that cramps on me the most, your hands. Boy, you are right. Shop and save.
Now, I don't want to accuse Bill of being cheap, but he wouldn't buy quickies at that quick fill station.
Yeah.
He wanted to come over here to this shop and save where he thought the cookies wouldn't cost so much. And he buys about 2 or 3 packages of cookies.
I'm getting it on film here, but you're gonna get a picture, Bill?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Get a picture. Get a picture.
And here we are, arriving at the Lyman Run State Park. And this is our campground. Again, our clothesline's up, picnic table, my tent, Bill's tent. And he's charging the battery in something. After we unloaded the bikes, we took this little 5-mile trip up past the lake and then back, and then up to the upper campground and back down to the lower campground where our campsite is. Here we're coming up to the lake. Bill's gonna make some comments about the dam there. It's not a very large lake. And when Bill tried to register for a campsite,
Yeah.
there were only 2 campsites that were available when he went online. We're wondering why these campsites are empty, or why were so many of them reserved?
There you go.
We guess that partially it's because people are up here swimming at the lake. There's a little beach, a concession area. Really looks nice. But Bill wanted to be at the upper campground, and unfortunately he got us into the lower campground, so we're searching for that upper campground. We went on past the lake and arrived on the gravel road. Asked somebody, and they told us where this upper campground was. It's on that little spur up from the lake, and we're now just investigating it. Again, there are campsites that are empty and no tags on them. In fact, one of our questions is, we reserved the campsite and there's no tag on our campsite saying it's reserved.
I think so. Yeah, one way and one the other. It would be nice. I can't either.
Huh?
I can't either. This looks like the end of it though.
Yeah. Little loop here, I think.
Yep.
We'll just make a line here. Yeah, I tell you what, I think it. I mean, I pushed in the gate.
Bills began to question whether he actually registered our campsite for the right day. More empty sites. No reservations on them.
Huh. And you got back a receipt, right?
Yeah, I showed you on the phone. Ain't that receipt I get?
Yeah, they should have sent you back an email receipt or something.
Yeah, in my email.
Yeah.
I mean, when I picked it, it was 2 left, and then I said I hit the wrong key or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Here's another reason that there are a lot of sites taken at this campground. There are ATV trails near here, and there were a lot of campers with ATVs attached. On our third day, we left Lyman Run and ran 30 miles down to Sinnemahoning State Park, another beautiful little campsite.
Here we are, getting ready to leave State Park to Lyman. It's okay. We got a little rain last night, not enough to talk about. Pretty dry this morning. There's Bob putting some final touches. It's a nice little park.
Here we're dropping down out of Lyman Run State Park, and we're going to make a turn and head to Cherry Springs State Park. It's one of the darkest areas in the east and a place where people go to camp and stargaze. It's also the biggest climb on this entire tour. We've got about 6 miles, I think.
Right now, we just came into Cherry Springs, biked up over the mountain. This is looking at where they look for stars. And this is campground there. If you're a star looker, you come up and you can camp in this section. Right there is the telescopes coming into view. Well, I guess you get in there and look out. And that's a 360. We got here about a half hour ago. Now we're going to head down.
Yeah.
The long downhill was just beautiful. And right off to the side, there were 2 big bull elk. Just spectacular. This little iPhone photo doesn't do them any justice at all. This was an incredibly pretty ride right in through here.
Yeah. There's a Conrad's, oh yeah, hunt club.
Looks like a church or something, huh?
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful.
And here we make a turn, and we're going to have a little snack at the Wharton General Store. Around the corner, here's the Wharton General Store. Lovely little stream, and you can see a bench off to the right, and we're going to go down there and have a snack. And here I am. I've made a Spam sandwich in memory of Monty Python, a Diet Pepsi, and a Snicker bar. And here's Bill. He stopped, put his bike over on the rail, and he wants to help a turtle across the highway.
No, it's a box turtle.
So Bill helped a little box turtle get across without getting crushed. And now we're getting really close to Sinnemahoning. The park office is 2.5 miles. And here we've set up camp. Again, there's my tent in the front, and Bill is still putting his tent together right behind mine. On the next day, we make a 44.46 mile run from Sinnemahoning State Park to Hyner State Park. Actually, we'll camp at Hyner Run and then go on to Lock Haven.
I thought it was very in for a second.
Did ya?
Yeah.
This is one of the back streets in Renovo. We were kind of looking for a restaurant back here.
Hi. Yeah, this town always reminds me of poverty. What's that?
He didn't want to really say that was good crazy.
Ah, okay.
We found a restaurant,
Yeah.
but it was a bit too sketchy, so we decided to go to the park and make a sandwich ourselves. Here's one of the apartment complexes. Now everything's all boarded up there in Renovo. We did a quick stop at the grocery store and then went to the park, and we're making lunch ourselves. And then here's our campsite in Hyner Run. This is a great little park. Has a swimming pool that I love. It has a swimming pool because it doesn't have any other beach. And so they built a swimming pool here. And here is the water. And there I am. I got in with all the other obese people and did some laps. You can't imagine how refreshing it was after a hot day on the bicycle. On the last day, it's a 33.79 mile run from Hyner Run to our car in Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. And this is the road down from Hyner Run. And this is the view crossing the Susquehanna River. It was just fantastically pretty. And here we are on the outskirts of Lock Haven. And we're going to go through Lock Haven and then on to Jersey Shore. Unlike Renovo, Lock Haven looks like a very prosperous little town. Oops. Bill's giving me a signal that we might have to stop up here for a car. We eyeball it. It gives us a wave ahead. Thank you very much. And we're off. And we did stop just outside of Lock Haven at this little pavilion and had another tiny little snack before going all the way on over through Avis. Right now we're in Avis, and just a ways through Avis we will be in Jersey Shore and back to Bill's vehicle and headed back home. This was a great little 5-day trip, 4 nights. Every day there was some forecasted rain. Across the whole 5 days, we probably had maybe 15 minutes of a light sprinkle. Hope you really enjoyed the trip. Thank you very much for watching.